Hello and welcome back to the Private GP podcast. My name is Alya Shakir. I am the CEO of Walk-In Clinic and I'm also a psychologist. What I want to talk about today is making it through depression. I know that depression does not necessarily mean you always feel bad. For many people, depression feels like feeling nothing or not having access to joy or pride or satisfaction. It can mean not taking the steps you need to take that are loving towards yourself, such as applying for the job you want or eating well or going for that walk in the park or seeing friends you enjoy seeing. And it's often associated with shame and a sense of being alone in the experience. The idea that everyone else has it all together except for you. But you're not alone. And it doesn't always have to be this way. One of the first steps in counteracting depression is understanding it. Look, many things happen in the span of a lifetime that can lead to depression, and sometimes without us even realizing it. These conditions can be life-altering and debilitating. But there are tools and habits that can empower us, including the use of resources already available in our lives and within ourselves. I want to make an important distinction here, though. I think we can over-diagnose depression. If you feel upset or low or unhappy because of a real-life event like bereavement or a job loss, that does not mean you're depressed. I'd probably be more worried about you if you are not feeling these things. So we must allow for normal human reactions, grief, betrayal, sadness, all of those things, disappointment. That's not depression. But if over time you find that feeling worsens or doesn't alleviate at all, or if you start feeling low and numb and you just don't know why, then you may be suffering from depression. Very often, some of the most complex depression is when you can't put your finger on why you feel the way you feel. It's just a feeling that you have. It's just this, you woke up one day and felt this way, or you've always felt this way. And that's sometimes a more difficult depression to understand and overcome, but it is possible. And I would like to bring a message of hope in this. One of the other things to be aware of is sometimes, whereas depression can be overdiagnosed, issues such as a trauma response can be underdiagnosed. And they mimic each other. When you have been through a trauma, whether that is a single episode or something you might not have recognized as a trauma, or something called complex trauma, where, for example, there are repeated small events through your early life or later in life. It's a similar response in our body, and it's a similar response in our mind of sort of shutting down or dissociating or feeling a bit foggy, feeling a bit detached, wanting to isolate, retreat from society. And when you look at all of those symptoms together, you could diagnose it as depression, but when we do that, we miss the cause. So some of the tips that I'm going to be giving today are addressing all of that. I think they help when you're dealing with a trauma-related issue and also when you're dealing with depression. The hardest thing about depression is that it counteracts everything you know you should do for yourself, right? So I should do this, I should go out, I should go for a walk, I should clean up, it counteracts all of that. And because it does that, it affects your self-esteem, your self-love, your self-care. And this might sound a bit tough, but at some point to recover, we have to go against how we feel. We have to fight. And many of the things you'll be doing will feel fake or unnatural, but please, please persist. Okay? So, first of all, take it step by step, day by day. For some people with depression, the smallest things can feel like a big deal. So the first thing you need to do is show yourself some compassion and kindness. You might not be able to do everything you want to do, but you might be able to do one positive thing today, such as waking up at a certain time, having a shower, drinking some lemon water. If you achieve this, whatever happens next doesn't matter, because you started your day in a positive way that shows yourself some care. So find one small thing and try to stick with it, and then build on that. You aren't going to change your life overnight. Depression is not going to leave you overnight, but it's about just creating these small habits, an accumulation, a collection of small habits over time. And before you know it, you'll find that your day-to-day has changed significantly. You need to tell people how you're feeling. It is really tempting when you're depressed to isolate yourself. You may not want others to notice how you're feeling or how you're living. You may just want to hibernate until you feel better. But you will feel better faster if you share the burden and let your needs be known. Look, not everyone has a supportive family, but if you do, make sure you tell them. Speak to your friends, speak to your social media community, speak to your HR at work if you have that kind of relationship. But don't let your depression become a secret that you hold alone. Improve your gut health. I know that came from out of nowhere, right? But it's absolutely vital. There is a huge connection between the brain and the gut. It's a major factor in depression, and it's a major factor in serotonin inhibition if your gut is unhealthy. The healthier your gut balance, the more serotonin is produced, and it's going to help your mood and your level of happiness. When your gut's inflamed, especially from an unhealthy diet and stress, you aren't getting the serotonin you need, and you're fighting chronic inflammation. It's going to make you feel tired. It's going to make you feel foggy. All of that is going to exacerbate your depression symptoms. So start taking high concentration probiotics, eat more greens, eat kefir or yogurts with live cultures, drink plenty of water, and start looking after your gut. Okay, this is the bit where everyone sort of shuts down. Lifestyle changes. Yeah, I know. It's really, really hard when you're depressed to think about these things. But again, just like before, about the small habits and the small changes, this is exactly what you need to be doing. It's small changes. The last thing you may want to do is leave the house, but we have to fight for that 15-minute walk. Moving your body will help release endorphins. It will give us a boost. It will take the edge off. Enough to do what we need to do for ourselves. Do your very best to avoid processed food and junk food, even though depression can drive us towards these bad habits. Look, there's no mind-body divide. And we will find it very difficult to recover from depression if we're mistreating our bodies. So make your body your friend and give it small things, small habits, change small things, and you'll see a real improvement. Try to improve your environment. Again, yes, depression does not want you to get up and do a full spring clean, most definitely. See if there's someone who can help you. See if you have a friend you trust who can help, and make it a shared activity. And start small. Tidy up one bit of your place. Tidy up one drawer. Do just the dishes. Whatever it is, if you want to limit it to doing the dishes and doing the bathroom or something like that, anything that will make you feel more in control of your life. But the environment is really, really important to your mental health. So if you're willing and able and you have access to someone who would come and help you do it with you, I really recommend that. Challenge your negative thoughts. Look, when you're depressed, your mind will play tricks on you. It will tell you that you're worthless or ugly or fat or useless. All of those things are untrue, objectively. And the voice in our head is not ours. So we have to challenge the negative thought, even if it feels that we're the ones doing the lying. If the voice tells us we're ugly, we challenge that. We look in the mirror and say, I am beautiful, whether you feel it, think it, or not. If it tells us life isn't worth living, we challenge that. We use the evidence of the past, how people react to us, to tell us the truth. Look, some people use a technique where they make the negative voice in their head comical, like Mickey Mouse or something like that. It's very hard to take that seriously. But that negative thought is not real, and you can counteract it. And the more you make a habit of counteracting it, the more likely it will lose its power. And the more likely your voice, the real voice, the true voice, will gain in strength. Practice gratitude. Look, this is going to be one of the hardest things to do, but a shift of perspective can be very, very healing. When we're depressed, we focus heavily on what's negative, what's missing, and practicing gratitude forces us to acknowledge the small positives. It will feel fake. You won't believe yourself, but eventually your brain will catch up with the words that you are saying. And gratitude, honestly, for me and most of my clients, has been one of the most powerful, powerful tools. And everybody reports the same thing. Listen, the first 2-3 months, it was like empty words. I didn't believe a thing. I didn't feel a thing. And then over time, it becomes a habit. And when you've developed that habit, you'll find that you start to find gratitude even in the smallest things. The hardest part of depression is it counteracts everything you need to do to heal. But you will find your way. There is always hope. Do not feel that it is an all or nothing. Do not feel you have to change your life overnight. This is a practice of putting in place small habits that you feel you can do, building on that. And over time, you'll see it will make a big, big, big difference. Depression is a common and shared experience. There's absolutely no shame in it. So share the burden, seek help, and you will be okay. I hope this has been of help, and please feel free to listen again whenever you need it. If you need a bit of a boost or if you need some encouragement. And yeah, you will be okay. I believe in you. And I really hope that some of these tools and tips have been of use. Until next time, we'll speak again.